we are on the site of the castle.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
That's what you do. You buy these clothes that cost money and make a difference in it. But we never do that.
Never complains, gets up, gets on with a smile on his face.
You just want you to sit in your chair and go hip hip hooray for the Western press and the Western narrative. You dare dictate the same old every single day without this. If you haven't seen it before, please watch the first two episodes, the second season. Stallone. Good morning, everyone. Listen, last night, I'm awfully sorry, but my whole block went up. The electricity just went, and it wasn't until after 11 o'clock last night that they came on. You know, the electricians came out anyway, but we waited for them for hours, and I couldn't get hold of anybody. I really couldn't get hold of anybody. Even Jason, the producer, he was out, and he never knew until this morning, you know. I'm awfully sorry, so sorry. And I had a great show lined up last night. I really did, you know. All the current issues that's going on, the ethnic cleansing and everything else, and the drawback on it, you know, by Trump. I don't know what these people are thinking, to be honest. I really don't know what these people are thinking. It's ethnic cleansing. There's genocide. And that's what I was going to talk about, you know, besides other things as well. I think it's an absolute disgrace, that's all. What was happening in America at that stupid press conference, that you could see him reading off a script, and you see that Netanyahu, that war criminal, standing there smirking. He's a war criminal. But I went on late last night when the electricity came on. You know, I went on something, and the comments that was coming out about Trump, you know, Trump's going to make America great again. We're going to rule the world and everything. I couldn't believe this. These are typical Americans. Just couldn't believe it. Well, anyway, we've got more sedate things to say today. More sedate, like films, for example. Almighty. Morning, Frank and everyone. Morning, Myra. Myra, I don't know if you tried to get on last night. I haven't seen anything, you know. But Jason did say that there were people waiting. You know, they made a few comments. And there was nothing I could do. Nothing at all. And I don't really use that Facebook thing, you know. I don't really use it. Or very rarely use it. Should have said. Gary Rigby, come on, Frank and viewers. Hey, Gary. And Colin Blackshaw, come on, Frank and chat. Good morning, Colin. I was watching something, you know. Look, sorry to say this, but there are too many woke films today being made, and it's just ridiculous. They're ridiculous. And I always remember Clint Eastwood saying a couple of years ago, he said, I feel sorry for the young actors today with the scripts they have to read and act. He said it's gone way too far, you know, what this system is all about. He just said system, he didn't say woke, you know. And that's what he said a couple of years ago. And he's exactly right. You know, agree with me or disagree with me about that. But anyway, you know, it's one of those things really that we have to get our teeth into, unfortunately. And remember last week when I didn't know what was behind me because I've just seen John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, and Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd, great actor, Dan Aykroyd, great comedian, really is. If you haven't seen a film called, what's it called? He's with John Candy and the two brothers, and they obviously, you know, they're married. It's so funny. They go on holiday together, you know, the way the Americans go camping and things like that, and they share the camping. So funny. Excuse me. Dan Aykroyd is like, he's married to this posh one, and it's the great actress, and outdoors, it's something outdoors. It's so funny. Annette Bening is married to. I will try and get it up somewhere and watch it. You'll enjoy it. It's so funny. I'm going back a few years ago, I watched it, you know. And it just came to, with seeing Aykroyd, I just, so funny. The Great Outdoors. The Great Outdoors, it's called. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So funny. It is so funny. I forget who plays John Candy's wife. Just watch it. And Gary says, I'm still not sure what woke means. I'll get called forever, I think, if I explain to you, to be honest, what it means, Gary. But I understand what you're saying, and you're saying that so gently, shall I say. And Colin says, John Candy went, yeah, well before his time, was a good man. Funny man. Uncle Buck. What a film that was. Uncle Buck. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. Right through from the start. And he's got this girlfriend, hasn't he? And he's been asked to go and babysit, you know, his brother's family while they go away for something, to a funeral. And he's trying to explain to his girlfriend, and his girlfriend's giving it that on the other side of the phone, and he's like that. I couldn't get a word. Brilliant. Great little scene, that. But anyway, you know, that's the great John Candy. But try and get hold of that. I think you could, Uncle Buck. I bet you'll have seen it. And you know, you thought that was funny. And it is funny. It is funny. And the Great Outdoors. Great. But what I've been watching is some smashing, you know, like black and white films. But you get the colorized as well. Some films have been colorized. Don't know whether you're aware of that. And I've been watching some of them. You know, really some of the, how can I put it? Like Sherlock Holmes, for example, Basil Rathbone, he's the greatest of all. Holmeses, he's the greatest Sherlock Holmes, the greatest in my opinion. There's no one that comparable to him. And that's colour, one or two of them are colorised, the old Sherlock Holmeses. Anthony Brown, the old Zoppo. Morning, Frank and chat. Morning, Anthony. Did you feel lonely? Did you feel lonely? Are you going out with Lainey today? Did she take you for a walk? Or she could take me for a walk. Anthony's an international artist, by the way. Great fella. Great artist, by the way. And I mean, great. Gary Rigby. I watched Cool and Luke. Forgot how good it was. Yeah, Paul Newman. Remember when I spoke about? I despise this man, to be honest. He wasn't a very nice man, Kirk Douglas. And I said that I've only seen one film that he was good in. Everyone says Spartacus and everything else, if you know what I mean. And I seen one good film, and I persevered. And that film was called Paths of Glory. Couldn't quite think of them. Paths of Glory, about the French true story, First World War. And he had to represent four fellas who were up for execution. Brilliant, great acting. By the four lads as well. Really good. Paths of Glory, black and white, for the authenticity of the time. Brilliant it is. So try and get that. No wokeness in that, by the way. Black and white, boy. Morning, folks. Morning, black and white. Yeah, look, he's got his little cup of coffee there. Well, I will only with you all on a cup of tea. Yes, I wish someone was here to make me a cup of tea. Honestly. And Black and White Boy says, been watching a few David Lynch. Lost Highway was good. His films get you thinking. Yeah, Blue Velvet was one of his most famous. And what was that? Mulberry? No, not Mulberry. Mulholland Drive as well. Very good. But it does, his films do have you thinking. David Lynch just died, hasn't he, unfortunately? He's just died. But yes, I agree with you there. Black and White Boy. Totally agree with you. Totally. And Anthony says, I've been dropping back to the Marx Brothers films. Arpo was just brilliant. The four of them, was the 3 or 4? There was 4, wasn't it? There was like the same fella. And he just, I think he went on to produce them. It wasn't Zeppo, I forget his name. He only made a couple with them. He was the handsomest out of a lot of them. But yeah, the Marx Brothers. But for me, they were brilliant. Don't get me, they were absolutely brilliant. But the boys, for comedy going back there, has to be Laurel and Hardy. Laurel and Hardy. Shall I give you a little bit of a historical thing there? Which, trivia. It's not really trivia, actually, because it's so significant within the name. And I want you to picture, you must have seen it loads of times, through the years, a portrait of the victory, the Battle of Trafalgar. And you see Nelson, lying there on his death row, where he says, Kismet, Hardy, not kiss me, Hardy, it's Kismet, fate it's fate. And you see Hardy to his left, and he's kneeling down looking at him. And there's a fella to his right. And his name is Captain John Oliver, because they were all captains on the ship, at Trafalgar. Anyway, this Captain John Oliver was a Liverpool captain, obviously in the Royal Navy, and he's there. Now, John Oliver, believe it or not, lived to his 101, and he's buried in St. James's Cemetery here in Liverpool. Now, Hardy, his family went over to America to live. And they were looking at, obviously they knew about Hardy himself, they knew about Trafalgar and everything else, especially one of them. And when Oliver Hardy was born, he's named Oliver after John Oliver. How about that? The Liverpool captain, who was on board with Hardy himself, and the death throes of Nelson. John Oliver. And Black and White Boy says, used to love Laurel and Hardy as a kid. Also, Harold Lloyd was on the telly then. Harold Lloyd did his own stunts. He was absolutely amazing. Amazing. Harold Lloyd. It's just like Buster Keaton. He did his own stunts. There was one stunt there with this thing. Tons of us. Tons, and it was the gable end of a house, the whole of it. And it collapses. And he's standing there, and there's a small window in that gable end, just one window, small. And as it falls, he's still standing there, because it goes. And he's standing right in the middle of the window, if you know what I mean. That would have killed him. That had to be spot on, or he would have been dead otherwise. So, yep, Buster Keaton, great. Kirk Douglas, did you realise he fought Hollywood's anti-communist blacklist and was on the left himself? As producer of Spartacus, he got Dalton Trumbo to write the film Breaking Back. Yeah, I didn't know about that. But I'm talking about his personal life, George. I'm talking about his personal life. I didn't know about the blacklist. And I always remember some other Pratt, what's his name? Sterling Hayden. And Sterling Hayden, to keep in with, making films and everything else, he was snitching on his friends who were there, during the McCarthy witch hunt. Sterling Hayden, and I remember him in an interview, and he was crying. And I said then, as a young man, too late for that, mate. Too late. too late. You gave them away. And what I was annoyed at as well was Charlie Chaplin. Now, Charlie Chaplin, he was exiled as well. And yet, I think it was in the 60s, early 70s, was that? Early 70s. And he was awarded a Lifetime Achievement Oscar. And he went and received it. He should have took note like Marlon Brando and George C. Scott and said, stuff you. I don't want it. That's what he should have done. He would have got more respect for people. But that's the way it is. You know, George, I'm not having a go, but yeah, I agree. During the communist times, along with Ronald Reagan, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the Duke, as they say. Yes. Totally agree with you there, George. But, you know, what can you say? What can you do? You know, there are people out there that are great people, you know. And that McCarthy witch hunt, you know what it was all about, communism. They've always hated, it's all Russophobe, I'm being honest with you. What were they doing in Vietnam? Come on. Stop communism. Where? Stop this. Stop it where? Stop it where? And yet Vietnam is lovely today. And there's still people being killed by unexploded things. I don't know whether you're aware of it. And people want to go and live in Vietnam. People loads of tourists go there. So what were they doing? Fighting them, and they couldn't win. Like everywhere else they go into, can't win. They got to have someone on the back or behind them. Elmo James. Hello, Elmo. What a name. I confess, brilliant film. Montgomery Clift. Brilliant film. Black and white as well. Yes. Totally agree with you there. He's the priest, isn't he? He's the priest, and that fella just goes in and confesses to a murder, and he doesn't know what to do. He just doesn't know what to do. Because everything is confidential. I'm a Catholic, by the way. And, you know, you go to confession, and if I confess, I always through this. When I was 24 years of age, a dear friend of mine, school chum, a fella who went to see the Beatles with when we were there, 14, we bumped. We went a playtime, himself, and he said, "Come on, we're going up to see the Beatles." I said, "Did they?" And anyway, we went up and to the Locarno, as it was called then, and we seen the Beatles. We seen them, and he died leukemia. He was a good friend of mine, you know, one of the mates, and he was a very funny fella as well. He should have been a comedian, but anyway, he died. And I forgot what I was going to talk. Oh yeah, as I said, I'm a Catholic, and obviously I'm going to go to the funeral. I actually carried him, you know, and I always remember my grandmother. It was. She said, "You've got to go to confession, you know, Francis." I said, "What for?" She said, "You've got to go to communion. It's a Requiem Mass." I went, "Oh." She said, "You have to go." So I said, "Okay." So I went to confession, and goes in. Bless me, Father. I just said, I just wanted to get in there and get out. And I said, I said I've committed every sin except murder, Father. And he went, you what? He has hundreds of Marys and 1,000 our fathers, you know. And that was just to go to communion with my little mate. So, yes, so Elmo James, yes, I confess, fantastic film. Fantastic. Montgomery Clift was a great actor. Great actor. And George said, may I recommend the film Trumbo with Brian, love him, about this era? Yeah, please do. Trumbo. I've heard of it. I've heard of Trumbo as well. Thanks, George. Bryan Cranston's, what an actor he is. And if I can recommend to you, George, with something easy, have a look at Your Honor. 8 episodes or 10 episodes of a series. I watched the first, there's only one series, by the way. And I watched the first episode, and it was like around this time on a Saturday morning. So I said, what this is? I flicked it out. I watched it right through, back to back, the whole series. Fantastic. So you get on to Your Honor. I'll definitely have a look at Trumbo. And Elmo James, Night Trains. Oh yeah, I've watched it. Watched it. It's cracking. Night Trains. Rex Harrison from Brighton. Watched it. Excuse me. Yeah, I love the old films. I really love the old films, especially the I don't like propaganda films today because we all know what they're about. But back then, we had to have some propaganda ones, but we were fighting, if you know what I mean. And some cracking films. There's one. Oh, what is it? I can't think of the title. With John Mills and Dickie Lovey, Darling Attenborough in. And John Mills is the captain of a submarine. At the beginning, he gets up, the little baby crying, and his wife's there, and she, after a little while, after a little conversation they have, and so you see who he is then. And she said, why don't you look, the war's over now. Just pack it up. My dad wants you to go and work for him. And, he's thinking. And he said, okay. He said, I'll see you tonight. We'll talk it over tonight. I've got to go. So she said, okay. Right, so he goes on this sub. Oh, what's it called? Not below beneath the waves or anything like that. Oh, what's it called? And you get us on YouTube. Anyway, there's great stalwarts in it. Great stalwart. The actors, you go, black and white, obviously. And you go, wow, look at these. And it goes out and they hit an old mine in the city. I'm not giving anything away. They hit an old mine. And it goes down. Communications are lost, everything. And that's where it starts. Great film. Nigel Patrick's in it, if you remember him. James Hayter, he's in it, if you remember him. So you see all the stalwarts. Great, honestly, watch it. I can't think of the Useless, aren't they? What do you mean being on the BBC, the film show, TV show? I forgot the name of the film. Gary the Rigby. I love Vietnam. I went 5 years ago, just before. Oh, great, Gary. I'm glad, at least one of us have been. I wanted to go myself, but unfortunately, the way I am, can't go across the road to the bus stop. You know what I mean? Should have seen me last night. No electricity, no nothing. And for people just, joining us, I had a blackout here last night. And it wasn't until, what time was it? I think it was 10 to 11. Then it was 10 past 11, I'm not quite too sure. But what I was worried about was, like my fridge freezer and my fridge itself with all my things in it. Oh, everything could be ruined and flooding, because it just melts, isn't it? So, it was all right a little bit later on, it wasn't too much wetness on the floor. But, but anyway, I couldn't get hold of anybody. I really couldn't to say. Anthony Brown. Such a powerful film about the futility of Vietnam was the great... De Niro, Christopher Walken, loads were in it. Yeah, it was a great film. The Deer Hunter. That's the way it was in Vietnam. That's the way it was. Horrible. Lee Brady. Hello, Frank. Hope all's well. Just off to Manchester to pick up the sister. So sadly can't join you live on chat, but we'll watch later while the kids are at Scouts. To Scout. Peace and quiet with a brew. Yes. And you'll be able to see what we're recommending. We forget the films. I forget the films. What they're called. So you'll have to scour and watch. Search. What's Richard Bateman he mentioned? Or something, George, Frank, you are 100% right. Your honour is great. Thank you, George. His loyalty to his son, juxtaposed to his status, makes for great film. I tell you, I can't pronounce his second name. Michael Stuhl, whatever it is. Stuhlberg, is it? He's a great actor, that Stuhl. I forget his name. But he's great in it. The baddie. Great series. Thank you, George. Glad you agreed. And Gary Rigby says, if you like all comedies, watch it. See, come on. Peter Sellers. Is that like the Peter Sellers one? Peter and that. I know what's his name? Oh, forget his name. I know he's always playing the copper, isn't he? Fantastic. Kevin Pine. Ding comments, please. Good or bad? Then hit the button. Bad or good, please. Thank you, Kevin. Thanks. And subscribe as well. I'm losing subscribe. I'm not saying people are going, I think I'll unsubscribe. It's not like that. It's YouTube itself. They're taking off subscriptions so that other people, so that they go back to it for some reason. I don't know problem is, it's not just me, it's loads of things as well, other streams. And I'm talking streams that have got like 1 million. I haven't even got like 1K. I should have had 1K. I've got like, how many? 860 odd. Right, like this now. But on another one, I don't know how it works out. I've got like 280 odd. So I don't know if you know what I mean. Subscribers. And I don't do another one, I just do this. Everything combined. So why don't you just start it together? And I'll have over the 1K. And I don't want money. The way some streams, they're always asking for money, subscribe, super chat, and all that nonsense. I don't do that. Don't need your money. Don't need anybody's money. I wouldn't ask for money. And whether it's football, whether it's this, whether it's social, not social, current affairs, that I do as well. I read your comments out. And I think the comments should be read out because you've got something to say. That's why I like interacting, and obviously the other people as well. And my football show as well. And everything. I'm doing a lot of Anthony Brown's just being on there. And I'm doing special history ones with him. History ones. Be good. Because I'm a historian. And rather than just doing, excuse me, I've got this thing as well, haven't I? Scratching myself all the time. Anyway, doing special ones, special history. I'm doing one half. I'm still keeping with the local stuff because we've got so much to talk about. Our local history here in Liverpool, which is fantastic. Which goes under the radar, unfortunately. Like everything else about Liverpool goes under the radar. And but I try to keep the momentum up by explaining about what we've achieved, if you like. Anyway, then I'll be talking, 1 hour I'll be Liverpool and whatever, next hour or the first hour, whatever I choose. I'll be talking international history, which is great. Like I want to talk about Romans, for example. The Romans. I want to talk about Roman Britain. What happened? During the AD 43 Claudian invasion. From then on, even before then, like more or less 100 years before then, you had Julius Caesar coming over. But he just came over for trade, as he said. And then AD 43, Claudian invasion. Why did they want an invasion here? A Claudian invasion. So I'll be talking about things like that. And then, another time I'll be talking about the English Civil War. I'll be talking about that. I'll be talking about the likes of the French Revolution and what the French Revolution meant for the French people. Obviously, I'll be talking about Napoleon. I mean, take no notice about, like, people think that he started off, and I mean this, that he was involved in the French Revolution. He wasn't. He wasn't. He was just a soldier. It was Dayton and Robespierre. And I'll leave you with this. All revolutions are started by what profession? Have a guess what profession they are? There's something for you. So be things like that, First World War. I'll be talking also about what was going on during the 18th and 19th centuries. I'll also be talking about Shakespeare's time. What was going on. what came from it. Shakespeare's phenomenal. I won't be talking like, like his plays. I'll talk about a couple of his plays, put it that way, and what the meanings were. And not the plays right through, just like, how can I put this? A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and has heard no more. I'll explain that quote. I'll explain. And why it was said. Why it was said. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and has heard no more. So it's things like that I'll be talking about. That's like the other side of history. You know what I mean? Gary, Frank, Vietnam has the best food and coffee I've ever had. Dead cheap as well. I went to Saigon and Da Nang, got an eternal flight up there. Do you know what? I said I wanted to go. He said, and I was talking to this fella, one of my neighbours, brother or something, older, like, gentleman around my age. I'm not calling myself a gentleman, but he was. And he's been there. He went to Patagonia, this fella. He's, like an adventurer. And he said about Vietnam, he said, go. He said, it's fantastic. Cambodia, he said, fantastic. So it's things like that, So, yeah, Gary, but I can't do anything at the moment. I can't even go to my beloved Italy at the moment, the way I am. Elmo James, watching the other day on YouTube, the big operator with Mickey Rooney as a corrupt union labour boss. Didn't realise, excuse me, this is my daughter. Excuse me. Oh, yeah. No, Francine, I'm on a pod. I'm doing a pod. It's all right. What time are you coming down? All right, well, come down, and that's no, I won't bother going. I thought, what Liverpool playing on Thursday, I thought it was Wednesday. I woke up thinking today was Friday, if you know what I mean. That, if you know what I mean, when you said it. Yeah, what I'm saying, today was Friday. You said I'll come down, because I was going to say you're bringing Sophia down from school. Okay. All right. All right. All right, baby. Yeah, yeah, France. I'll see you later, mate. All right, baby. Ta-ra. Ta-ra, baby. My daughter. Supposedly going out with it today completely. I thought it was Friday. With Liverpool playing on Thursday, I really thought, woke up when it was Thursday. I thought it was Wednesday. Do you understand? I lost the day. And when I was talking to her yesterday, she said, I'll be down tomorrow, Dad. I said, okay. See you tomorrow, great. Because I thought that she'd be picking my granddaughter up, Sophia, and coming straight down to me, which would have been around 3:30 or something like that. As Elmo says about Mickey, he didn't realise he had that many wives, and what a life he has with over 300 films. Yeah, Mickey Rooney. Yeah, little Mickey. He married Ava Gardner. Him? Ava Gardner. Talking of Peter Sellers, watched Being There last night. Very intelligent film, and Sellers excellent, a genius in my opinion, says Mary Stan. I never watched it. I never watched Being There. About a gardener, wasn't it, in the White House? Or, albeit I love Sellers. I think he got a posthumous Oscar for that, didn't he? Not quite so sure. Excuse me. Watched the series on Prime TV called Survivors. This was made in the early 70s and was COVID 50 years before real. A virus in China with, yeah, I watched it at the time, Colin. I watched it at the time. Where you see, never forget the opening scene. Where you see, I think it's Heathrow, isn't it? Heathrow Airport, where you see a Chinese fellow with a test tube in his hands. And I even then, after, being a very young person, I went, come on, you would be going to, getting off a plane and going to an airport with a test tube. And it drops, doesn't it? Bang. Obliterates. It was a great series, that, but the first series, well, it got a bit stupid then. Afterwards. But yeah, The Survivors. It was great after the time. It was something different. Kevin Pine, you can't beat old school boss channel. I know. Old school boss. Chanel, you mean? Takes me back. Chanel or Chanel? The perfume. Well, worth a watch. There is also a version from the 90s about it as well. Yeah, there is. There is. Like, I always remember that. I always remember when I started teaching, I did some literature stuff. But I did loads of literature stuff, to be honest. And one of the books I did was Day of the Triffids. Day of the Triffids. And, I've seen the films, I've seen the series and things like that. And you always get the book that's different. It's like Jaws. I always remember going away and I said, I think I'll take this Jaws with me. And I brought that, and that was different from Jaws. And that one. Elmo says, did you like hearing film? Yes. Love them. The Lavender Hill Mob. The Lavender Hill Mob. Incredible. When you see the mob, just think of the title. The Lavender Hill Mob. You take all these gangsters out. Brilliant. How they casted people in those days. They must have said, oh, yeah, look, have him for the have him. How they did it. How they did it. Incredible. Yeah, the Lady Killers. Classics. Classics, Elmo. Gary Rigby. Have you heard of a YouTuber called Charles Veach? Charlie Veach. He's done videos in Liverpool and claims to love the city. And there's a newest one. He says, imagine how good Liverpool would look now if it wasn't blitzed. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah. Charles Veach. Do you know what? I went to school with a fella named Charlie Veach. And he blew up the fucking He blew up. You know when you used to go for science, he blew up the laboratory. We were all talking about football to the teacher, and he was always in a corner, you know, with test tubes and Bunsen burners, and blew it up. Turns around, his hair was standing up like that. And he had always had these little glasses, and glasses. And he turns around and he was all black. He's all and the teacher's name was Joe Crow. And he said, "What have you done?" We all ran out to the rest of them. If it wasn't Blitz, then yeah, I knew what you meant, Gary. Mary Stan says, Gary Rigby, great film, Cool and Luke, classic, one of the best. I also watched Newman in Winning. His real-life wife, Joanne Woodward, stars opposite him. And Gary says, I almost went to Cambodia, but the visa was too expensive, so I went to Da Nang instead. Great. Da Nang. Frank, as a man who likes conspiracy, would you agree with Derek Jacobi, the Edward de Vere? Yeah, the Earl of Oxford was, no, I don't agree with it. The Americans say that. Did you know that? The Americans said Shakespeare wasn't anyway. It was de Vere. That's what they say. Take no notice of Americans. They try to convince you. The Earl of Oscar was 99.9% responsible for the plays and sonnets. The Americans would love that. What did someone say? Honestly, I always remember I'm going back years ago, and an American's genuine this. Are you sure Shakespeare wasn't an American? That's genuine. The Americans even said that he was Italian, Shakespeare. Now I love Italy because of my Italian roots, personal Italian roots, and he said, "How would he know about?" This is how they put it over. How would they know about Venice? Like the Merchant of Venice, things like that. How would they know about Othello in the Roman army? Things like that. They were saying he wouldn't know anything about that. Little did he know that he had friends, Shakespeare, who were sea captains. So it's a good question, George said. But no, just disagree. Shakespeare. I've been to his house. Didn't have a cup of tea with him, but been to his grammar school. I've always said that he came to our castle. Where did he come to? But I'm sure that he came to our castle at one point and did Macbeth there. sure of it, positive, because he was around this area with his plays, travelling plays. Goose. Is your daughter married, Frank? No. No. She's a comedian, believe it or not. She does gigs. She goes on stage. True that. Gary the Rigby. On YouTube, I've been watching Wales in Action, Man Alive, Wicker. Oh, what a man. Wicker. Did you know that Alan Wicker drove into Rome and went like that? Don't worry, they're all on the way. Liberating Rome. Alan Wicker in a Jeep. They were all around him, those other Romans. They were all around him, the people, the citizens. Saying, where are you? They're down the road, don't worry. Coming up soon. That was the day after they came up. Alan Wicker. The greatest, in my opinion, reporter ever. Ever. Him and John Pilger, but he was first. Alan Wicker. So we agree with you there, Gary. Alan Wicker. Wicker's World. Fantastic. Fantastic. Very smart as well. Great voice. Elmo James. Stanley Baxter. Brilliant. Stanley Baxter. Brilliant. Was funny. The Fast Lady. Father Kane too with James Robertson Justice. I always remember the show. He used to get dressed up as women, right, and things like that. Long before woke, all this transgender, but you know, these were for sketches. And you see him, and it was great. He's dressed up like, you know, like a teddy boy in Glasgow. This is just sketches in his TV show, Stanley Baxter show. And I'll never forget it. So anyway, you see, and he walks in there, you know, like a teddy, you know, well, a teddy boy. And next to him is this girl, his girlfriend, but it's him dressed up as a, you know, this blonde, this dizzy blonde. Oh, cotton everything. And he goes into the bar and he turns around. He said to her, "What you be wanting?" And she said, "Oh, I'm easy." And he said, I know you're easy, but what you be wanting?" I know you're easy, but what you be wanting? So crazy, huh? Gary the Rigby. I'm getting into Ibsen since I went to Norway last year and stayed in his hometown of Skien. Ibsen. Too much for me, that, to be honest. Ibsen. Really. I just stick to the English classics. I love the English classics. I always remember that uni doing every time. And it was Tennessee Williams as A Streetcar Named Desire. Oh. But the American literature, I never liked Mark Twain, albeit that he was in Liverpool and he loved Liverpool, Mark Twain. Stood on the town hall balcony, Mark Twain. But anyway, you know, like Tom Sawyer and, you know, Huckleberry Finn. Couldn't. Tennessee Williams. But one of the best to come out of it was The Crucible. Arthur Miller's Crucible. I'll tell you something about that. Arthur Miller wrote it, and it was brilliant. It was brilliant because he went up to MacArthur, Senator MacArthur, and said, "I'd like you a copy. Yeah, I'd like to give you a copy." And McCarthy was made up. It was about him. It was the Salem witch hunt was about McCarthy's witch hunt. And he just gave it to him. He didn't know, obviously. He was oblivious, McCarthy, to the crucible, the melting pot. Mark Simons, hiya Mark, all the way from Gibraltar. What's it like over there now, Mark? Is it warm and freezing sitting here? Got no electricity and not, well, I've got electricity, but the heating's gone. Who is the greatest actor around today? Daniel Day-Lewis, Liam Neeson, Stephen Graham. Daniel Day-Lewis is one of the best actors ever. Graham's okay. Stephen Graham. I know Stephen, by the way. Liam Neeson's gone a bit, I think he's doing too many films and he's cramming everything. Not, some of them are terrible. Like the fucking Honest Thief. The Honest Thief. Oh, come on. Have you watched that? Oh, watch it. See how stupid it is. You go like that. Ah, come on, stop. See, with Stephen, I'm being honest, Mark, he advertised the Sun. And done on an own. And a lot of other people as well. You don't do. He's a big Liverpool supporter. And he advertised it. Big photograph in front of the Sun. Poster. Stephen. I went to his birthday party. Heavily. Sitting together and watching Drew Schofield in a play. So I'd say Daniel Day-Lewis. Daniel Day-Lewis. But if you mean the British ones, David Toulis. Fantastic. David Toulis. Great actor. Elmo. Robert Donut. Goodbye, Mr. Yeah. Watch Your Men. Yeah, there's something. Watch Your Men, the 39 Steps. It's been colorized and it's on YouTube. Colorized. Look for the colorized version. The 39 Steps with Robert Donut. George says, I'm not particularly a fan of the American literature myself, but make an exception. Yeah, Ernest Hemingway. Yeah, but I stick to the classics myself. I really do. I stick to our wonderful classics. If you like plays and you read about plays. I'm not talking about today's plays. I'm talking about the likes of Shakespeare. Have a look at A Revenger's Tragedy by Cyril Ternier. Fantastic. A contemporary of Shakespeare, by the way. So, who's better than Shakespeare? Who's better than Charles Dickens? And if you bring females into it, who's better than the Brontes? See what I mean? And, you know, poets, who's better? Who's better than William Blake, Wordsworth, Keats, Browning? You know what I mean? Who's better than any of them? Who's better war poets than Wilfred Owen, Siegfried Sassoon? A lot of them. That's the way I look at literature. You're all disappointed in me. George, Roger McGough was a better poet. Did you know that I was doing something, you know, for the Capital of Culture. Roger McGough started off a poem, and I did something after him, you know, like started off a poem. The other people, you know, like me stupid self, to write something as well, write a line. And I'll tell you where it is. Do you know it's not functioning anymore as we do, you know, this great city of ours. You know, in Williamson Square, you know, the fountain, and you've got that big round thing. That's a poem, man. Oh, look at it. But you don't see my name, you just see words. And I forget what I spoke. I think I spoke about the castle. So yeah, Roger McGough. Brilliant. Great Expectations with Finlay Curry and as Abel Magwitch. Yes. And when you read the book, you just see like the opening and Pip, and Magwitch is an escape prisoner, and he's hiding, and he needs money, and Pip comes along, and he grabs Pip, doesn't he, and turns him upside down, shaking him, to see if money will drop out, because obviously he's an escaped convict with no money, shaking him upside down. At that precise moment, what you have is Pip's whole world in that instant turned upside down. And that's what it's all about. Am I right? Yes. Mark says, just been watching Tales of the Unexpected and some great Roald Dahl stories on there, like The Landlady and Royal Jelly. It's a who's who of great British actors, timeless and so nostalgic to watch now. That's what I mean about, I love going back. And, you know, on YouTube, just have a look. Just have a look at some of the old films, all these stalwarts that we grew up with on the silver screen. But you're right, Roald Dahl and, you know, Tales of the Unexpected, brilliant. Down, you know, the music as well. I don't think it goes like that, but it's in my mind, but it's not coming out properly. Now, it is an interesting by Just. I've been reading Mein Kampf and it is relevant to today's geoscape. You're right there. You're right. Yeah. So much like it, isn't it? And you say it is more than just Jew hatred, so to speak. You're so right. You're so right. My mind camp, my goal, yeah, my aim. And Elmo, good shout that. Very unusual for a Saturday morning film and TV review, but yes. Some of the characters' names say is Elmo James that Dickens as were exceptional. Brilliant. Brilliantly were. Think about this. Think about this. Do you ever read Hard Times and Stephen Blackpool? Stephen Blackpool, right? And what his name signifies in the book. Mr. Bounderby, what his name signifies in the book. Don't forget, they're all perfectly picked. And Mr. Bounderby lives on the hill, doesn't he? This big mansion, looking down to the streets where he lives, of his workers. So Mr. Bounderby is the bounder of the book. Mr. Gradgrind. Think about it. Gradgrind. The vowels, the consonants, and everything, because he's a headmaster. Great names. Great names. You look at the depiction of Fagin in Oliver Twist. The depiction, the characterization of. You look at Oliver Twist. Twist. What's your name, boy? Oliver Twist. Twist. Why is it twist? Because there's a twist at the end of the story. You see, so when you look at literature, it's not just like words that are written and that you're reading. It's grabbing your imagination. Even the names. The names. Look at Scrooge. How does that sound? Scrooge. Scrooge. It's like Scrooge is like a screw being turned, but very hard. Turn Scrooge into something, and it's tightening all the time. What's he like? He's tight, isn't he? And in Oliver Twist, Mr. Bumble. Who's Mr. Bumble? Mr. Bumble's a beagle. How about that for alliteration? Mr. Bumble the beagle. But Mr. Bumble, you might think that he's a harsh man, which he is, but he's being abused by his own wife. She's got him like that. So yeah, names are so significant that he comes out. Absolutely brilliant. Mr. Brownlow. I want you to work that name out yourselves. I know it. Mr. Brownlow. I'm not smug like Netanyahu. George said. Roald Dahl was a morally ambiguous character with his anti-Semitic, pro-Nazi views. Yes, so was it. I tell you who else was. Jeeves and Wooster. What's his bloody? His name's got. It's strange. Name just went. It was there. I just went. Flew out again. Russell, Bertrand Russell. And yeah, you're right there, George. He was morally ambiguous. So was Bertrand Russell. But anti-Semitic, the way you look at it today and what's going on. Anyone? See, look, I've always said, George, you mightn't agree with me or whatever, but there's labels being bantered about all the time, so you can't say anything about anything. Labels, there's all these isms that you can't, the other ism, whatever is before ism, if you know what I mean. There's too many labels, can't say anything. It's what you call, control and control of speech. And Mark, why do you think Kubrick didn't release Clockwork Orange in England, Frank? Why don't you think Kubrick didn't release Clockwork Orange in England, Frank? I read the book in school and thought it was a genius how Anthony Burgess mixed Russian and Welsh into the slang of the youth. But I've seen Clockwork Orange. A Clockwork Orange with Malcolm McDowell. But you're right, Burgess, and Kim Philby, incredible people. Spies. And they reckon that I don't know what happened. Like Anthony Blunt was the fifth man. Don't forget that these were all Cambridge fellas. These were all the Oxbridge boys. And you wouldn't think that these far back privileged people were so for the working classes. Doesn't make sense. Genius comment. Elmo says used. What did he say? Yeah, you're right there. They were exceptional. And Elmo. Always loved Great Expectations when I was younger. Abel Magwitch, Miss Havisham, and Pip. Yes, Miss Havisham. She was sitting there, wasn't she? And when Pip went to see her, he seen the outlay of her wedding table full of cobwebs. And she's there in a wedding dress. She never married. She was dumped. How many fellas done that? And how many girls have done that too? G.K. Chesterton, Reeves and Wooster. G.K. Chesterton, you're right. Bertrand Russell, what is it? He was in Germany, Bertrand Russell. He was in Germany. during the rise of Hitler. What about the Mitfords? I'll be doing them, as I said about history as well. I'll be doing them, the Mitfords. Thank you, George Seth. GK Chesterton, yes. It's good to see the kidnappers returned. So no, Callum. Callum, ladies and gentlemen, is the greatest copite ever. The greatest Liverpool supporter in the world. With the exception of my daughter. I would argue with my daughter over Liverpool. Mark Simons, Jeremiah Johnson with Robert Redford as a club. I like all Robert Redfords. There's one now, it goes back. And it's a cracking film. 3 Days of the Condor. 3 Days of the Condor. And it was fantastic. It is fantastic. I'm trying to think of a film. Can't think of it. Jeez, I'm sorry. And it's what the CIA get up to. I can't think of it. I was thrown there. And the copite says, what happened last night? All my electricity went off, copite. I couldn't get hold of anybody. It went off from, what time was it? 6:30 till, I don't know whether it was 10 to 11 or 10 past 11 last night. So I couldn't get hold of anybody. And I was in a bit of dilemma myself, especially with foodstuffs in the freezer and in the fridge itself. George says, sorry, Frank, my spelling errors. Don't be blaming the spelling. That's what I do. Predictive text. My daughter's not listening, but I meant to put something. And it was, it was this girl I've known her for years, an old friend. And I said to her, the message came out and said, it's great to see you. How's your tits? I said, I didn't know. Went. So predictive text. I always proofread everything I do. Proofread everything you do. PG was also Mark's, yeah. I thought, GK Chesterton. Yeah, but, we might argue with, there's someone's Google. Never trust Google, by the way, either. People trust them. Got a few dates on, by the way. And George says, Mark, you're 100% right. My head is a balloon. GK Chesterton, rather than PG. That's who was thinking of, PG Woodhouse and what was it, over in Nazi Germany. That's true, yeah. My head is a balloon, says George. And Copwhite says, my head's a balloon, says. So bad. Excuse me. And Callum says, all right, good to see you on today. Is it post-match tomorrow? Yeah, I'm doing a pre-match as well. Want to join me? I'll be doing a pre-match and post-match. As long as the electricity stays okay. How's your cracking there, Sparks, you know? Okay. 2 of them, like, gave them a cup of tea when they finished. Mark Simons. Yeah, I know that. Look, come on. Italian, first generation of Italian. Playing Al Pacino's Michael. What colour hair would he have? Wouldn't be fucking blonde. And blue eyes. You've got to look at reality. See my eyes? See my eyes? Not blue, are they? Yeah, Robert Ever was put forward to play Pier Pacino's role in Godfather, but Coppola thought the studio was justified in the end. Don't you think? Yes, of course he was. The studios have a fucking clue about anything. That's why you need good casting directors. See, they all. I love Redford. Don't get me wrong; he's a great actor. Some great films he's done, and I mean great films. Point is, you don't play Italians with blue eyes and blonde hair, especially gangsters. You've seen, have you seen real footage of these mafiosi people? And mafia, Cosa Nostra means our thing, by the way. Our thing. And a watch along. I'm trying to get something sorted out so I'll be able to do a watch along used. So I'm, most probably, I think he's out today. One of the lads said, I'll get it sorted for you. He knows this fella, and he'd have to come here, to like set things up and that for me to do a watch along. Yeah, so it will be coming, watch alongs, especially with the final running. Especially with the final running, if you know what I mean. We're in the last furlong now. Well, last couple of furlongs. Should be good. And just reminded me, James Caan was a great as well, says Elmo. Do you know what? I watched it was a few weeks ago, James Caan and Hugh Grant of all people. Mickey Blue Eyes. Mickey Blue Eyes. About the mafia, so fun. Try and get hold of that Mickey Blue Eyes. James Caan and Hugh Grant. Francis was watching on, he might pull a limb celebrating. Should have seen me the other night. Oh. And when we scored, the opener. I get up off my chair. Incredible. But what a win that was. Fantastic. Great. Do you know what? I'm freezing, you know. George said the only blue-eyed Italian mafia association was Francis Albert. But what's his name? Franzesi. Is a Franco Franzesi? He was a mob fella, and he said he had nothing to do with the mafia. Sinatra said he had nothing to do with it. Whether he's trying to like distance the name of Sinatra from the mob, I don't know. I don't know. Like we've got relatives in New York, and it's funny, really. Io parlo molto lingua italiano molto bene, and I won't go to America. Not for me, America. And anyway, a cousin of mine went over, and he was picked up. He was picked up by two lads, two members of the family. And now, don't forget that the English, they'd never been there, never been. He was the first to go over. Anyway, he goes over there, and he gets picked up. And they said, "Are you hungry?" He went, "Well," he said, "Come on, you're all right." These two lads who picked him up, and they brought him to Little Italy. And he went into this, I don't know, was it a bistro, a restaurant? I don't know, a small place. And he goes in, they have a beer, and they're having a chat. And he said, "Come on, there, we go to the house now, and meet his uncle." And he said, "Okay," so they drive, gets to the house, goes up these stairs, and there's like like elderly relatives standing there like that, and saying, "Hello, hello." And when he goes in, all of a sudden, they start talking Italian. And he didn't understand them. He couldn't speak a word of Italian. So they bring him outside and go like that. "Don't you speak Italian?" He said, "No." And the dad comes out there and he goes like, "You don't speak Italian? Your mother language? You don't speak it? What are they doing over there in England? What are they doing?" No one can speak English in the household. And if he wanted to talk English, he had to go outside. Genuine. I'm just going to answer my daughter here. I bet she's downstairs. Listen, do you mind if I ring my daughter? I won't be a minute, okay? I'm Sorry there, people. I had to phone her. I had to phone her. Anyway, I don't know what it was. Yeah, Francis Albert Sinatra, my cousin who went over New York. Got relatives in San Diego as well and Chicago. Pity they weren't in Tampa. I might have forced myself to go over there to the warm, sunny climes. I'm freezing here. 8 winter, mate. I've got more coats, heavy coats, than anything. Anyway, he was the actor in the here until he plays a good mafia boss, John Cazale. Is it John Cazale? I don't know. I forget. Like there was only John Cazale. He was in. He played. He was in the Godfather. I think he was married to Meryl Streep actually, or they were together. And he died at a very young age. He died of the Big C. John Cazale. He was in Dog Day Afternoon with Pacino as well. But he was in the Here Until Wit. De Niro. He was in the Godfather with Pacino as the brother, you know. Yeah, Christopher Walken was in it as well. And Gary says, "You never been, Frank? I love New York." He also wants to go. She keeps asking me to bring her over. I understand, people love her, and but look at it. I've been streaming the state of it. The state. Jamie Lee Curtis said, it was wrong for her to say, by the way. She said, LA's like Gaza. Point is, people, the Americans helped to destroy Gaza, and they're destroying themselves. America. I was looking at, Philadelphia, another bad place. There's loads of homeless, crime. The crime over there is unbelievable. No, it's not for me, America, to be honest. Beautiful country, don't get me wrong, when you see those drones going over valleys and mountains, fantastic. Beautiful country, but they're destroying it. Their own people. Trump's come in, hasn't he, on the policy, the POTUS policy of peace and make America great again. What's he fucking done? He's threatened Canada. He's threatened Greenland. He's threatened Panama. Threatens Iran, as usual. And anyone, threatens everybody, anyone, who goes against us will be sanctioned. This is Mr. Trump. I wanted him in because I believed him. Drain the swamp of God Almighty. Copite. New York, where's dreams are made of, turns up to New York City. It's just another Manchester, bloody off. There you go. And that's from Copite. Bloody off. Just another Manchester. Francine's got friends who live in Texas, 2 girls. She stays with me, stayed here with me, put them up for a week. And, oh, they're lovely girls. Lovely girls. That's about it. I tell you though, I've got to admit this. You know, I watch their, you know, sometimes I watch their news. Don't watch it right through. You know, get clips of it. And you see the fellas, you know, sitting there. All lovely hair. And the girls, you know, sitting there, all beautiful. And you look at our newsrooms, they're all glamorous, our newsrooms. You know. And Mark says, Ringo's country and western album is top of the charts. Frank, have you? No, I won't listen to him. That could be his best at 85. That's a great achievement. Yeah, great for him. But once you turn your back on Liverpool, that's the end of me with them. Once you turn your back on Liverpool, and he did, that Pratt. Remember on the Jonathan Ross show? I don't think. I remember him being in St George's Hall where that Stewart fella, you know, from the Eurythmics, and they were going to play on. Well, they did play. And I walked through. They were there. They were in the air. They were chatting. Wasn't interested in Liverpool. That's Dave Stewart. That's him. He went like that. You know, as soon as we get this over and get out, the better. He said, yeah. Heard that from him. There's only them two and a couple of others who were sitting like further back, you know, just talking anyway. Didn't know I was there, but passing. I thought, fuck you. The luckiest man in the world. Yeah? The luckiest man. Talentless, in my opinion. We all live in the yellow zone. As John Lennon said, we can play drums better than the three of us. I know he was joking, like, but they could play drums, could play any instrument, the lads. Sorry about that, Mark, but that's just me. Turn your back on Liverpool. $30,000 homeless in New York, say Scouts Red. 30,000. Think about that. Pennsylvania. Philadelphia. I want to see that fucking place. You see them, these drug addicts. They're just bent over. Like zombies. Like big zombies. It's the Anfield, though. Hey, at Anfield. I couldn't get on last night, Anfield, mate. All my electricity went. All my electricity. Went. The Anfield Road. Frankie, have you given Squid Game? What's that? I haven't a clue. Honestly, I haven't a clue. And Christopher. Hi Frank and everyone. I'm a bit late this morning. Love the Blues Brothers background. It's superb. Yeah, the lads, the lads, John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. I'm sorry. I was just thinking there. Uh, have you ever seen James Belushi in Red Heat with Big Arnie? Great film. Great film. Big Arnie. Red Heat. Belushi's brilliant in it. Not him, but his brother James. James Belushi, Red Heat. Try and get onto that if you haven't seen it. Great film, funny and serious as well. Big Arnie playing a Russian. Gwen season 2 is class, says Cal. Is that the Squid Game? I don't know. I've never seen it. The Anfield Road. It's a next Korean show. I think you'd like it, lad. Do you know what? I like Korean films, you know. You know, like Train to Busan. And a couple of others, I forget the title. But that Train to Busan, have you seen it? It's brilliant. I don't like zombies, you know, I really don't. No zombie films. But that's brilliant. I'm going to tell you what else I like. You know, that Brad Pitt one, World War Z, being in Zombie, you know. Yeah, so the cop says, no, Gwed is a Scout series. I've never heard it. I don't watch art telly. Is it on Netflix? I don't know. Freezing, you know, boys. Fucking hell. Quite a lot of mental health issues in New York, says Christopher. Meds are very expensive over there. Resi's a good film, thank you. All in one. How's that? It's like a poem, you know, a poem is a storybook condensed. And that comment by Christopher was all condensed. Quite a lot of mental health in New York. The meds are very expensive. Resi's a good film, all condensed into one. Thank you, Christopher. I love it. And the cop eyes. Frank also likes Korean women, wouldn't you? He does the old smoothie. Thanks very much. But anyway, listen, boys, I'm gonna. And do you know what? My fingers are that fucking cold, my hands. You know, for touching that freezing on my face, stupid face. I hate cold weather. Really hate cold weather. So what do you think of when I mentioned about me history shows? What do you think about that? Do you fancy them? If you listen to what I said before. The Anfield, they have said Copy Callum. I've heard Des Lynam is a big downtown. And the Anfield, at least someone, was thinking of me. Go and get warm, lads, if you're not feeling all that. You see, as I said, honestly, the heating in this house it's ridiculous. There's no heat at all. And when if I put my fire on, I've got one. Everything is electric in here. Everything is electric, no matter what. The prices I pay, phenomenal. And I put the electric fire on for 3 hours once. I was that cold. I was sitting there like a big lemon, I'll say. And I'm sitting there watching. I said, "Oh, fuck this," So I put the fire on for 3 hours. 120 quid it cost me. 123 hours. Oh, man. Have a good day, Frank. I'm off to Grady Market. Not as good as it used to be, says Gary. Yeah, I don't live far from Grady, by the way. Don't live far from there. Don't forget, lads. Oh, do you know what? I was gonna wind this up. I was gonna wind it up, but I'll wind it up for tomorrow. I'll wear it tomorrow to show you what it'll look like on one of your wrists. And it all comes in a nice box, as you can see, with a nice little cushion to protect it. So I'll show you it tomorrow working and how it'll look on your wrist. You'll feel. Are you thinking of doing a schedule change, Frankie? Yeah. It's going to be a lot. I'm doing it tomorrow because it's Sunday. I'm doing a pre-match and I'm doing a post-match. I'm doing more pods, Liverpool, but I'm still keeping me Friday nights. Anfield, I'm still keeping me Friday nights, for the I call them social injustices, to be honest, what's going on, if you know what I mean. So, my current affairs programme, I'm still doing that. I'm doing history specials. That's just, I went through them before, besides like the local stuff, 1 hour I'll be doing, say, like the French Revolution. Just saying that, which I will be doing, by the way. I'll be doing about the Roman Britain. What was happening here? The AD 43 Claudian invasion. I'll be talking about that. Who led it? Aulus Plautius coming over. And there's the legions, 4 legions. So I'll be doing things like that, for the first hour. So at least people will get to know. I'll be doing the English Civil War, people will be getting to know about that, things that they do know, things that they don't know. Also, I'll be doing about Dayton or Danton and Robespierre. I'll be talking about them and the French Revolution. Why the French Revolution? The myths surround and let them eat cake. There's a big myth in that because it was Robespierre who brought that out. So there are things like that. I'll be doing Napoleon as well. What his aims and goals were and there's not as bad as you think or what they're made out to be. Don't forget, this country is full of propaganda, always has been, always will be. I'll be doing the gunpowder plot as well, near at the time, obviously. I don't know, I might just do it any time, just come out and do it. So I'll be doing things like that. Obviously, the First World War, I'll be doing that. I'll be doing how people were living during the 18th and the 18th and 19th centuries coming into the 20th century. What the politicians were like. So I'll be doing things like that, on the history show. And not just involving Liverpool. I'm talking about everywhere. Talking about everywhere. The Industrial Revolution, when that came about and what was happening. It all applies to today, It really applies to today. And, what I mean is I could be giving examples going back then to like going to, a supermarket today where you can go and fill your own bag up, whatever it is, and pay yourself, instead of a person on the till. They're doing away with it. They're doing away with it. So it's things like that they're doing away. They're doing away with a lot of things. So it's things like that. It's certainly like comparison and whatever. So that's my history. As I said, I'll be doing more pods. I'll be doing one of a day as well, a Liverpool pod. What I'm saying is LFC pod. See this fella here? Great fella, funny. Great films he's made. The Great Outdoors, watch it. Highly recommended. The Great Outdoors with John Candy. If you haven't watched it, try and get it up. The Great Outdoors. I'm freezing. And did you know that he said he came out and said, he's no fool, He came out and he said that he was actually followed because of his views on UFOs. He said, I was frightened by these men in black. The men in black followed him. Well, listen, thanks for joining me today, this morning. And I'm sorry again last night to the people. I know that there were people waiting. Jason told me when he was changing over this from, yesterday or last night. I couldn't do anything about it. I had no bloody electricity. So until it was fixed late last night. So anyway, I'll see you all tomorrow. Pre-match and post-match. Okay. Thank you so much, boys and girls. See you later. Ciao. Love to see you do a historical show on there. I've done it. But I will do, George. I will do it. I go back to 1566, George. I go back to 1566. And Sir Humphrey Gilbert, who was the half-brother of Sir Walter Raleigh, and what he did. I'll do that. But I will do that. I'll do the Irish. Promise that. Love to see you. Sure, I'll do that, George. I will do it, honestly. I might do that first, actually, if you like. The history shows are great, Frank. The map you have is fantastic, says Christopher. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I think I'll be doing my last one, and because I'm just going to do specials. I'll be doing one on Monday. That's about it then. Me and Anthony I'll do the Irish Monday for you, George. Do the Irish. Okay. Thank you for that, Christopher. Oh, Myra. Take care, everyone. Oh, Myra. Take care, Myra. Oh, I love Myra. Honestly, she's a lovely girl. Lovely woman. See you tomorrow, Frank. Up the Red Mill and chat says the greatest copite in the world. Come on. And he says, bye, Myra. Cheers, Frank, says Christopher. And Myra says, copite Callum, and she waves. Right, so Leighton Orient lead Man City 1-0. My daughter's got a conspiracy theory about that. She said that they're losing deliberately because, you know, with this fair play thing, we can't keep on winning the league. So I said, yeah, okay. As I said, thank you so much, people. See you all tomorrow. Thanks, Myra, once again. Myra, hope to see you next week. I'm awfully sorry about last night. Really, awfully. Because I know that you followed the stream. Mille grazie. Ciao, bella.